Hello and welcome back to Three Dads and a Console. We know not every parent can stay up to date with the latest and greatest in video game news that you need to know about. So we try to do that with you weekly. And this show is kid-friendly, so no earmuffs are needed. Before we get started, make sure to rate us on Apple iTunes, subscribe on your podcast platform of choice, and check out our YouTube channel. We greatly appreciate it. Now on with the show. I'm Waba Plays, and I'm also here with Court Lalonde. Court, good to see you.
Great to see you two ugly sons of bitches. I had to try and throw you off.
That's the nicest thing anyone said about me today, so thank you very much. And we're also...
If you guys saw the intro, Matt got me good, so I was trying to get you guys good.
Thanks, Court! You know, we're trying to be consummate professionals. And now you're making us look like boobs. And not the good kind.
Pez, he said boobs.
You can't phase me. Cool as a cucumber. Ready to go no matter what.
And that voice that you hear is a lovely young gentleman, contrary to what another host thinks. It's Pez.
Good day, mates. How we doing today? How's everyone? Little shrimp on the barbie.
Oh, Jesus.
So,
Australian listeners in shambles right now.
It wasn't even that. It was just like so many different accents.
Yeah. It was like the British prisoner brought to Australia version of the accent.
It was half of the countries Britain conquered.
It was like the giant Boston ogre trying to do a British/Australian accent.
Oh man. I'm not here for this. I am not here for this.
Pez is
We'll come back on vacation with
a
a firecracker up his keister, just ready to go.
He woke up today and chose violence.
Yeah. Did.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, we got a lot to talk about today. There's a lot of stuff, and the first big thing is going to be Gamescom. So there's a small little indie presentation in Gamescom that you might not have heard about, but a lot of news was shared, and we're going to talk about our favorite from that show. So first, Court, what did you like from Gamescom?
Well, I truly enjoyed the humble game section in the Xbox showcase. I will say that it's just because I've become a liker of indie games. I know Pez has tried to get me onto them for like the last 5 years, but because of Game Pass, it's no longer a hard barrier of entry, and which makes me like the developer. And for perfect example, like Death's Door and such, when they bring out another game, I'm gonna buy it. Like, even though it wasn't on Game Pass, it was a cheap game, but I'm just saying I will put my money in Supergiant Games. Like, if they bring out any game, I'm gonna buy it. Like, it's just, I like those. But I was oddly very happy to see Lego Star Wars. It's a game that I've been looking forward to. When I got my Xbox 360, I remember getting the original Lego Star Wars, and it was a game that I bought again when I got my Xbox Series S just to play it. I love the Lego games, and now that I can share them with my daughter, we've played Lego Batman. We played Lego Batman 2. We played Lego The Incredibles. We played a couple games together, and I showed her the trailer for it, and she was pumped. So that excited me. And then I'm very excited to play the new Saints Row. It looks really good. I've liked the Saints Row. Yeah, I've liked the Saints Row games, and believe it or not, I like them. Sometimes I find them to be more fun than GTA because they're not as long. It doesn't take me like 50 to 60 hours to play, and you just go out there and be stupid.
Yeah. I think what I enjoy the most about Saints Row is you can just be wacky, right? It's not like, and it's not a wackiness where it's like, okay, I'm gonna use my weapons code in GTA 5 and then try to steal the jet and kill everybody. It's like a different type of, Saints Row 3 was weird. It was probably the weirdest one out of the three.
What? You don't like taking a giant dildo and shooting people with it?
Yeah. But I mean, that was the cool, it was like GTA, but wacky and weird. And that's what I liked about it. So I'm really excited for it to come back.
I actually platinum Saints Row 3.
For the listeners at home, Pez is muting so he can burp.
Yeah, it was a big one too.
Saints Row, it's weird because I like the game. I know people are super into it, but I platinumed number 3, and I don't think I get it, which is weird because I played it for a long time. It just seems, I don't know. I guess I know. Is it anything like 1 and 2? Do you have to play those to like understand what's going on?
So initially, Saints Row was just like, hey, we're gonna be GTA, and then as like with Saints Row 2, it got a little stranger, and then Saints Row 3, it's like your character who you played in 1 and 2 like becomes the president,
Johnny,
and then is just a nutcase, and like all this crazy stuff happens, and
then there's a Gat Out of Hell, and they just what they did is they were like, hey, we're known as the game that's wacky and got dildos and guys running around and speedos and stuff, and we're just gonna take it to the next level. I did like the adding, and I don't know if anybody else knows, all those characters. I have no clue who they are. It's none of the original characters, which I actually like because I think those other characters I'm done with. It's not like there's character development in Saints Row. It looks good. I like the art direction they went with. I'm excited to play it. Like this will be a game. It's not like I pre-order games anymore, but this will be a game that I'm like, I'll probably play it day one.
this game will go on unless it's on Game Pass, which I doubt it will be. It'll go on my list of like a sale. Probably like between 50% and 90, in like 50% and like 66% off sale.
Now, question for you both. You just mentioned Game Pass. Were you guys surprised that we didn't get any of those? Like when they launched with Dying Light 2, were you expecting them to say day and date on Game Pass? Which Dying Light 2 looked great, by the way, but
Dying
I
Light
like
2
those
looks
games.
Phenomenal.
It's being centered to die though. It's dropping in November, and friggin' you got Halo coming in December. You've got just come on.
Why
now.
would you drop a horror game not in October? It makes no sense. Like legit, like drop it
it's
first
not-
week of October.
Yeah, but you got Call of Duty Vanguard. Like, you want to stay the heck away from it.
It's a spoopy game. It's full of spoops and ghosts.
Honestly, if
and
I was
zombies.
them, they should have dropped it in January like they did the last time, which was perfect.
I think Dying Light has enough legs behind it that it won't matter. Yeah, I think it'll be like the first one. Like the first one still has longevity. Like people are still buying it and playing it and streaming it, and I think you'll see that with the second one.
Counterpoint to that, Titanfall 2.
Yeah, but I mean, Titanfall 1.
EA put it out against everybody else, and they put it out to die, and it had probably one of the best campaigns of that year.
I agree, but if you look at Titanfall 2 and you look at, they release it a week before Battlefield, a week after Battlefield, like
yeah, it doesn't matter.
You're going. I mean, I think it's pretty much apples to apples because you're taking first-person shooter Titanfall versus first-person shooter Battlefield versus whatever. Dying Light's not really a first-person shooter. It's more of like a survival, parkour, weird like adventure type / horror game hybrid. And I don't think there's anything like it on the market. So I think you could put it up against Halo, and someone could still be like, I'm going to play Halo, play an hour of multiplayer with Halo, and then be like, I'm going to play Dying Light for an hour to see where the story goes.
So right now you have, so I guess if I'm wrong, it's not November. So in November we have Just Dance 2022.
Banger.
Call of Duty Vanguard November 5th.
Yes.
Forza Horizon 5 November 9th. Looks good.
Looks great.
Now here's a crazy one. This game will take November, and it's a game from 6 years ago. Grand Theft Auto 5, November 11th. Xbox Series X, PlayStation 5.
Guess what? It'll do huge numbers.
That's what I just said.
Of
It'll
GTA
kill.
Online.
And then
Stupid game.
Where's Dying Light? Is Dying Light December?
Dying Light's
dead. Dying Light is dead. Looks at this one. Dying Light comes out on December 7th. And Halo Infinite comes out December 8th.
Dude, they put it out after Black Friday. At least, dude, you release it in October, and then you put it for $15 less than Black Friday. It's so easy.
But now all I'm going to do is I won't buy Dying Light until it's on sale.
I'm not even going to buy it. Well, the game's too spoopy. But, a lot of people are just going to be like, oh, I'm just going to watch this streamer play on it. Boom.
Wow, but you
done.
actually think that's game scary?
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude, I am dying for a Pez Waba Plays Phasmophobia stream. Dying for it.
Dying Light for it.
Dying Light 2, for it.
The streets.
And then it doesn't even matter because Waba's game comes out on October 15th and he won't be playing anything after that.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is too. I mean, there are some games that I see like on the horizon that are really Horizon, but stupid joke. Don't laugh. Diablo and then NHL and then like that's my year.
Well, so I look at you got Guardians of the Galaxy on my birthday, October 26th. Hint, hint to anybody listening. But a game that I played a demo of while I was on vacation, boys, Riders Republic, is freaking awesome. Like I can't believe I'm saying it, but the game was so much fun. I didn't want to I only got to play it for a whole day, and I didn't stop playing it. The barrier to entry is it's not like I need to know how to do tricks on my bike. It's just fun. Just fun.
I don't think I wouldn't have guessed that would have been a game for you.
Same here, but I got the demo. I got access to it. I played it, and I was in shock that I liked it. Shocked.
Sometimes you never know. That's why, I mean, demo's always a good thing. Sometimes you realize, oh, this is pretty good, and sometimes it's like, I'm good.
Oh my God, look at September releases. Holy Jesus. That's a long list.
Diablo 2 Remastered is all that matters.
I'm gonna bring up, guys, 2 bangers from Gamescom.
I'm pretty sure one of them.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Shredder's
Revenge. Of course.
Can we talk about this game? First off, it scratches the nostalgia itch. But you know what actually gets me really excited about this? So it's made by Tribute Games. This team worked on Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, which is an incredible game. Wonder Boy, The Dragon's Trap. I don't know if you guys ever played the Wonder Boy series. Really good.
Hold on. Is that the guy with the axe? And he rides the skateboard?
No. It is being published by Dotemu, which is a French publisher who has published Streets of Rage 4.
Definitely didn't play Wonder Boy.
Streets of Rage 4, the brand new Zombies Ate My Neighbors, Windjammers, and Windjammers 2.
Good.
Wonder Boy, The Dragon's Trap, Ys Origin. They have just put out absolute smashers.
Okay, hold on.
You haven't Ys Origin.
I'm not trying to interrupt you, but the original Wonder Boy is Adventure Island. It is the original is what I'm talking about. The guy in the skateboard.
Yeah.
Sorry. Continue.
Adventure Island 3, by the way. Ridiculously hard.
Such a fun game, though.
Those games are ridiculous. That game has me so excited. And I initially thought it was a 2028 release based on the Wikipedia, but I've been told it's 2022 on Switch and PC, which is exciting.
It's on all consoles.
Oh, is it now?
Yes. I know you love your Switch and your PC, and you're like,
I was just going by what is on the Wikipedia.
The Wikipedia is wrong.
You're right.
Don't trust the masses, Pez. Trust your heart.
I shouldn't. Second game by my favorite publisher. No longer Nintendo, I must say. It is Devolver Digital.
Ooh.
Because Devolver Digital puts out absolute bangers. Cult of the Lamb. So this is an indie game. First off, if you haven't heard about this, strap on in, boys, because it seems wild.
I'm ready. Hit me with it.
Okay. You are it casts players as in the role of this possessed lamb who is saved by annihilation from this omnipotent, I can't even say it. Omnipotent stranger. I can't speak.
Omnipotent.
Omnipotent.
You heathen.
I know.
Bask in God's light and revere his language.
Anyway, Austin 316. Anyway, you're saved by the stranger, and so you take over this cult to repay him.
Hold on. Pez, you're right. Shredder's Revenge is not on anything else but PC and Switch. You know what?
Woo.
This is.
Can we get a hashtag Pez is right in chat? Thank you very much.
I'm sad right
That
now.
game's gonna sell 4 copies, and
Yeah,
2 are gonna
seriously.
be to Pez.
Yeah,
It's like
all 4 are going to be to me. 2 digital and then 2 from limited run games. Let's go.
what the hell are they doing?
I mean, I'm sure
sorry,
a year ago
it's
you
on-
guys may have
No,
said
so
the
this
same
doesn't
about
make any
Hades,
sense.
So.
So their other so one page says this, VentureBeat says this, and then another one says Nintendo Switch, Microsoft Windows, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4.
Who knows? Imagine putting a game out
Mother-
on PlayStation 4 and not PlayStation 5.
Hold on.
Oof.
I'm putting Xbox beside it and see what
What a-
happens.
oof.
The only console that matters anymore. The Shredder's Revenge page. Why don't we just go to that?
All right, as you do that,
Mhm.
so you build up a following in this cult, and what you do is you like sacrifice non-believers. Yeah, it's craziness. You venture out into like all these obvious lands that like you never knew before, and your job is to basically have this cult of the lamb that has saved you, and you are basically running a cult, and it looks amazing. The art style looks great. It's created by it's developed by Massive Monster. They have 2 other games I've never heard of. The Adventure Pals and Never Give Up. Never heard of them. But I know that Devolver Digital games are pretty much up my alley. Almost all of them. So I will be giving it a shot. And its release date is 2022. So I'm really excited.
Confirm on their webpage just Switch and PC. So
Bang, going the Hades route like a good boy.
so that just means it'll come on Game Pass and I don't have to buy it. Thanks. Cool.
So I don't play a lot of Devolver games. They're just not my kind. But you like the fact that you get to build a cult, and when you said sacrifice the non-believers, I think I'm in. I'm looking at the trailer now. It just looks fun, goofy, different. I mean, there's like the action, like hack and slash, like bullet hell part, but this just looks like silly fun. I'm kind of in.
So
I didn't think I was.
Does that mean you want to be a cult leader?
Do I want to?
I would.
Isn't that what my stream is?
You have more fun as a member, but you make more money as a leader. In the words of Creed Bratton.
Here's something I learned. It's higher number of followers equals better person. So you want to be the leader. It's totally true. Look on Twitter. Higher number equals better person.
Donald Trump had a lot of followers.
So let's change the subject.
Okay. we just lost 1.5 listeners.
Our only listener just clicked off. But yeah, Devolver Digital games like Katana Zero, Broforce, Hotline Miami, Serious Sam.
Hotline Miami is a beautiful game.
Hotline Miami 2, Loop Hero, Enter the Gungeon, Death's Door. Like these games, I love these games. I love them. So I'm in.
What'd you guys think of that Marvel game?
Wow,
I'm all about that. So I didn't watch I mean, I had Gamescom on in the background. All right, because I knew I'm like, there's not a lot for me. I got my Diablo.
NHL 22, NHL 22,
Exactly.
NHL 22.
I know what I'm playing this year. Obviously, I'm very content driven.
Or don't post pictures. Don't post pictures.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna share that. So, but when I saw this trailer, like it blew my mind. And the best part is, I showed it to my wife, and she liked it even more. She called out. She's like, "That's magic." I'm like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "Oh yeah, that's Colossus's sister." Like, no, I mean, it wasn't even mentioned. She's like, "I can't find anybody else. No one's able identifying her. I know who that is because she grew up on X-Men." So they showed the trailer. It looks great. It has all these characters. It's got they look like not the movie versions. And they actually just released a gameplay trailer today. It is XCOM plus cards plus that action part. So it's very Valkyria Chronicles, which I named my dog after. And it's very, what would I say? Kingdom Hearts 365 over 12 or whatever that dumb game is. Is that it? I don't know. I don't know the name. But the card one.
Yeah.
The GBA one. Excellent. Very lost and random, as we mentioned before. But it looks very cool. And I'm excited. And I think a lot of people are going to get into it. I know cards aren't for everyone, but I think there's a way to approach it in a way that will make it very easy. It's not like magic level deck building, I'm sure.
And let's talk about who's developing it. For Axis, right? XCOM, Civ, like the best.
XCOM is, if you turn-based strategy, they get it. And I don't mean like JRPG, but like they're very good at it. XCOM surprised me so much. Like I haven't had as much fun with a game like this since like Advance Wars, which is like 15 years ago. So maybe I'm living in the past, but I think that they do things so right, and especially with this property, I don't see it doing poorly. And the fact that it's like Midnight Suns, it's like its own thing, its own event. Like I don't even know what that has to do with anything. Like I haven't read the book, but like they're on different uniforms. They're all gold. There's like a unique character too that like I think you get to build.
Can I talk about how Ghost Rider looked terrible though? It really
it's because it's like the Robbie Ray version of Ghost Rider. It's not the Ghost Rider that we grew up with.
Like what was it? It's like they made his head like an engine, and there was fire only going at the sides.
Fair. I don't love it.
It's a different Ghost Rider. Yeah, it's not like the Johnny Blaze one that we grew up with, who is the best.
Yeah, fair enough.
I am actually happy that they are not using the MCU. Right? This isn't a Marvel. This isn't like Avengers, right?
None of the video games do.
I know, but like when you play the Avengers, everyone was like, "This isn't the MCU Avengers. This game looks dumb."
Oh yeah, like, but that wasn't the only reason that people didn't like the game.
No, bad. I know, but initially when we saw the trailer, we're like, "This is the Walmart version. Like this is the Great Value Avengers, right?" It's like the meme of like, "Hey mom, I want Captain America," and she's like, "We have Captain America at home, and it's the Square Enix version." But I like that it's not like, hey, we're gonna give you Captain America and it's gonna like look like a knockoff Chris Evans. Like this is, you're getting the Midnight Suns, which is I'm not gonna call it a defunct team, but it's a team a lot of people do not know about.
Is it like X-Force and like Alpha Flight?
So basically the whole thing with the Midnight Suns is like their job is to like deal with like Lilith, who's like the demon of like an underworld demon. Like this is like a dark story in Marvel, right? And I like that it's not just, I kind of hate that it has like Steve Rogers in it and Iron Man, because like they're not in the original Midnight Suns. It's
Punisher,
but you need people who will know like
the Punisher is.
People know
the Punisher is.
But, you know, to see Ghost Rider, who's not a
Punisher's a man.
Not like a huge property anymore, and to see Blade, who's like not a huge property anymore.
Yeah, but they got a new movie. They got Blade movie coming back.
Yeah, but this is like the Wesley Snipes Blade. Like this is like the one where Triple H was a vampire Blade.
Oh god, Blade 3. What a terrible movie.
Fun fact about Blade, like my father-in-law can summon that movie on TV whenever. He's like, "Oh yeah, Blade 3, I want it to be on," and it's on. It's unreal.
Okay, so remember, next time you say the word fun fact and then follow it up with something not fun, just remember you said that.
Just wait until I want Blade 3 to appear. And guess what? It's going to be on HBO.
All of a sudden, Jessica Biel and Ryan Reynolds are like running through our podcast so they can show us Blade 3.
Can Jessica Biel please run through our podcast?
No, probably not. She's with Justin Timberlake. She doesn't need us.
Oh,
doesn't need us schmucks.
I think Storm is in this too, all the way at the end. I'm looking at that wide shot at the end.
Is, yep.
And it's Mohawk Storm, which we don't get to see a lot.
So I'm really excited for it. I think it's going to be a cool game. I am not like a huge, like I've played XCOM, and there's some frustrating things about XCOM. Like when I am like right next to the alien and I go to shoot him and it says you have an 89% chance to hit, and then I miss. I'm like, come on. Why am I missing? I'm 2 feet away from him. I have a rifle in my hand and I have an A- chance to hit this guy, and I'm missing. Like that stuff is kind of annoying, but the cars that they showed look cool. I think the game looks great, and I'm excited to play it.
I think it's gonna be excellent. I don't think it can't not be. And I think the fact that it's got characters that like you wouldn't think are like cool. I know Strange is cool now because of the movies, but like, do you want to play a Strange game? There's people out there who do, but like generally they're not the big names. The big names were in Avengers, that game. And these are very
okay.
You have some A-level characters and some B-level characters, and I would say some C.
You have like the ultimate character in Wolverine, and then you have the Punisher. Like you have like 2 of the best characters in Marvel.
Is Punisher in this game?
I just read he will be in the game, but I don't care for this game at all. Like not even a little.
Well, you're a DC guy.
No, honestly, I played Marvel Avengers. The turn-based games, they kill me.
And that's fair because you didn't like Persona. Turn-based is very tough for people to get into.
I didn't like Yakuza, Like a Dragon, and that's supposed to be a masterpiece, and I thought it was a waste of my time.
Is it a turn-based? Hey, no, it's menu-based, right?
Wait, we just lost the last 3 listeners we had. They just screamed and turned off.
No Yakuza like a dragon for you.
Or
But like,
you know, it's probably funny. Young Beef probably actually agrees with me, so that'd be weird.
Probably.
but I mean, that's like the more you see it, like they're gonna approach it in a way that makes sense because obviously it's such a different niche. Like, turn-based combat is not for everyone, and then when you add in the card elements, but I'm interested to see how that is. And I love how immediately I start to see comments online like, "Oh, you're gonna have to buy packs." Like, I love how they see cards and they assume like pay to win. Like, God forbid, like it's just a game mechanic. Like, remember the times when like you hooked up your GBA to not the internet and
Right.
played like Kingdom Hearts. So I'm excited to see how they take that approach, with this. And I don't know, man. It's there's something about it. There's something about it. I haven't seen something like this in a while that's really made me excited for like a story-based game.
The more non-MCU Marvel games that can come out, the better.
Yes.
To me. Like, I know they don't make MCU games, but when people hear Marvel, they think about the MCU. But like, man, give me a good Ultimate Alliance again. You know, give me the single stories like Spider-Man and Miles Morales, and like, you know, give me all the different stuff. Give me like a Ghost Rider game, right? Because what's he doing? Nothing. He's doing nothing. You know, give me like a reboot Daredevil now that like Charlie Cox made him popular during the TV series. Like, give me that, right? Give me some X-Men stuff because they're right now they're not on the big screen. So I want to play as the X-Men. I want to be Colossus and Cyclops and Nightcrawler and all the boys, and you know, bamf around and do all the mutant stuff. Give me all those games.
The last good, I would say, Marvel game like that was Marvel vs. Capcom 2 or Capcom 3. I think that was a good.
I would disagree.
I would say Spider-Man, but that's fine. It's
No,
still
no,
a
no.
Marvel
I
game.
mean, like, how do I put this? Spider-Man's a big property. I mean, when you get like the boys, like Pez mentioned, you get like the people that aren't like A level, and you get to kind of see and experience.
Then
being able to
X-Men
play that.
Arcade. X-Men Arcade.
You're going back to Konami to the 90s. I love it.
So good.
Yeah, except it has Dazzler in it. No,
tell me how good it is. It's good.
It's
it's
good.
very good. Take a Dazzler and that game gets better.
Marvel Ultimate Alliance was pretty good. Ultimate Alliance 3 on the Switch was pretty good. 2 was good as well. 1 was the best.
Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2 on the Xbox was fantastic.
Yeah. The sad thing is you can't get them anymore due to licensing issues.
Incorrect. I have them on my PlayStation.
No, if you have them, they're there. You cannot buy them right now unless you buy them like secondhand, like G2A or whatever all those garbage key sites are.
Well, that's like even the Batman that no one likes. You can only get a physical copy of it.
Wait, what Batman don't people like?
The one with the really good Deathstroke battle in it. What's that one?
Oh, Arkham Origins?
Yeah, you can't get that unless you get a physical copy.
Yeah, the game's not that great. The Deathstroke fight was amazing.
It was. It was one of the best boss fights.
It's not. Oh, man, I'm not doing it. That's not the Joker. It's a brand new villain. Then all of a sudden the Joker's like, hey, buddy, what's going on?
It's a Batman comic. That's what happens, man. Joker doesn't die.
I know.
Any other games that stuck out from Gamescom?
Honestly, this will lead into our next conversation. Halo. They didn't show any gameplay, which was disappointing. But their reasoning for doing so was that they wanted to actually put out a good game. And you know what? I agree with them. We've seen so many dev diaries of them talking about how much time and effort it takes to make these trailers for games that I was actually impressed that Microsoft decided, you know what? We're doing this. And then they gave us a release day. Now, I said it before, Microsoft decided to have stuff on Gamescom and then they did Opening Night Live. They should have just done one whole day because the stuff they did on Opening Night Live made us forget about how bad Gamescom was because all you had was Forza. And at the point with Forza 5, I don't need to see anything else. Besides, they showed us an amazing controller. Let's be real, that controller is sweet and sexy. And then the next day we got Halo. We got a release date. We got multiplayer trailer, but then we got a limited edition console, and then we got a Elite Series 2 controller, and it was like, now we're all happy again. And Halo's back in the news. They didn't show any gameplay, and all people talked about was Halo. So they did their job. They've done a very good job in marketing, and I was actually very disappointed that Sony didn't come in with anything besides they had the trailer for Horizon. They gave us a date, but they gave us nothing else. And I think Sony needed a home run, and they haven't had one all year.
I agree. Let me ask you guys this. Does it bother you that Halo will not be launching with Forge or a co-op campaign?
No.
Yes.
Tell me why. Tell me why.
Ain't nothing when he doesn't play Xbox.
Yeah, so I don't play
Tell me
Xbox
why.
because that console's for casual. No, it's Halo's a fine franchise. Obviously, it's not been mine, but I feel like a lot of people, especially like I know a lot of people who enjoy Halo, and yes, the multiplayer is fun. They have a lot of good memories with it, but a lot of people are very attached to the character of Master Chief and also the storyline. The world that they've created, I think, is undeniably one of the it's the best space type scenarios. And
I believe they call the genre sci-fi.
whatever. And I was gonna say space opera, but it's not Mass Effect. And the fact that they're like, yeah, we're just gonna give you multiplayer. I feel like I don't want to say it's a cop out because it's not, because their multiplayer is excellent and they're gonna get a lot of esports opportunities.
There's a
But
story.
yeah, but it's not gonna come out at launch.
No.
Yes, it will.
No.
Co-op
Hold on.
campaign isn't coming out
Co-op.
at launch.
Sorry,
Oh, I thought you
Walla.
said the single player wasn't.
No,
Oh,
no, no.
co-op?
So-
No, co-op's dumb.
And it actually, I knew Pez would actually play this game, and so there's very little games where Pez will play co-op campaign with me and get stuck in it, and I thought this was the game. So when they canceled it, he was the only person I probably would have played with. Other than that, I play a lot of games solo, so it's not that big a deal to me, but I can see the people that are upset about it. But the Forge is just level editor, and I'll never do that, so I don't care.
I don't care either. I actually don't care about either of them because I think if you give someone a campaign and a multiplayer, you're giving them already the experience, right? Like you can package that as a $60 game, be like, here you go. It's done. I think everything else is kind of window dressing for that. Forge, they said, is coming out in, I believe it was co-op campaigns coming out in 3 months, which is like a season.
Correct.
So it's coming
And
out
then
in season 2, and Forge is season 3.
In 6 months, yeah.
Is the co-op campaign going to be the same? Because when I heard you say campaign, I thought that meant single player. But is it the exact same thing, or is it going to be different?
Yeah, it just means you can play with another person at the same time while you're playing the campaign.
But it's the same story. So it's basically what people used to do when they used to couch co-op. It's just
correct. But you can still do couch co-op.
Who is hanging out with friends in per? Oh, wait, that's
so hold on. In Canada, we have this thing called a COVID passport, so we can see people and do things as long as we're vaccinated. And
I
then
don't want to see anyone.
And then the dirty people stay home.
And what is the Forge? You said it's like level editor.
So the Forge is a multiplayer level editor that has literally everything that is in Halo. So if you wanted to make a big team battle, which is 12 to 16 players, and you wanted all the vehicles in the game, and you wanted all the weapons in the game, and you wanted whatever game mode you wanted, you can make it all happen. So it's basically a custom map editor
and
with
then
everything in it.
And what usually happens with it, Waba, is some people take some time and effort and make some great maps, and 343 will put them into the multiplayer.
Yeah,
it's actually really cool.
Yeah,
so and that's the whole.
Forge is a big deal when it comes to the Halo community because it's been around since I think Halo 3, and people have really sunk a lot of time and effort into making these pretty good multiplayer PvP maps and experiences.
Yeah, and what you'll get out of it is people are still going to get to play the campaign now, and then they're going to get to play a whole bunch of the multiplayer, and then they'll get to use the Forge. One of the points I want to get across is it's called Halo Infinite, and I truly feel that they're just going to keep adding to this game, because Microsoft has Game Pass, so they don't have a reason to give you Halo Infinite 2, Halo Infinite 3. They don't need to. They can just do what Destiny's doing right now, which I just downloaded Destiny onto my Xbox Series X because I was like, I might just jump back into this because all this stuff is there that I haven't even played. And I think what Halo Infinite's going to do is they're going to have Halo Infinite, Master Chief goes does something just stupid names. They're going to have all these different add-on. So every year we're going to have this new campaign that gets added in, and then new multiplayer stuff. And that's how they're going to get.
Can I tell you what one of the packs is going to be? Because I already know. I already know how these game companies work. one expansion is going to be called Rise of the Arbiter. And it'll be bringing back the Arbiter from the early Halo games. Guaranteed.
That's a great idea.
I know. Yo, Microsoft. Let's go. Let's talk. Let's talk turkey, baby.
Arbiter, hardly nowhere.
I'll email somebody.
It's funny you mentioned Destiny 2 because like that's what Destiny has been living off of. Like Destiny 2 was released 4 years ago, and they're still pumping out expansions.
People are pumped right now. It's in the zeitgeist. All anybody wants to do is play that game.
Yeah, and it's good, right? I went back and I played it on PC. Now it has crossplay, right? So now you can play with your friends that have it on Xbox or PlayStation, and it's still Destiny, which is a good game that has good shooting mechanics. But then they bring back like an updated, leveled version of Vault of Glass, which is probably their best raid they've ever made. And now we're gonna have an expansion with Savathun, which is the sister of the big bad from King's Fall. I can't remember his name. And people are hyped because King's Fall was a major expansion in Destiny 1 and it was incredible. Literally changed how that game operated. But for Halo, I also believe Halo is going to do that. They've already talked about seasons. When you talk about seasons, it means you're going deep. You're not having you're not rolling out this.
That's what she said.
Woo! You're not rolling out this 6 month, 7 month cycle and then being like, okay, we're done. Like when you roll out seasons, you're going for 1 to 2 years at least. And knowing what Microsoft can put behind this, you'll be looking at like a Destiny 4, 5, 6, 7 year cycle. Guaranteed. And Rise of the Arbiter is going to be coming year 2. And when it does, I expect to get some kickback. That's it.
I'll email our friend over at Microsoft and see what happens. We'll see what happens.
I like it.
Any other games from Gamescom that you folks are excited about?
The usuals, like Far Cry 6. I'm thoroughly. I get hooked on Ubisoft games. I don't know what it is, but Far Cry 6, I'm pumped. I don't think I needed any more to see from it though. The trailer didn't really show me much, but I guess some people have played about 5 or 6 hours of it, and so we just saw that on social media recently and some impressions, and all people are saying is some great things about it. They're saying it's funny again, so I'm excited for that, and that's about it. Like Forza 5, I'm excited to play, and I've already said that. There's not much else. Gamescom is really just hey, here's what's coming out in the next 3 months.
Yep. But there are some other games that came out recently and some that are going to be coming out that weren't a part of this. The biggest one I would say is Psychonauts 2 in Court. You had a chance to get your hands on that.
Yes.
What was your impressions with that game?
Thanks to our friends over at Microsoft, I was able to get that almost a week before it hit the shiny Game Pass. And it's also available on PlayStation. It's available on everything. I would not have bought this game. I want to preface and say that I would never have bought that game. I probably would have tried it on Game Pass. I will say this, that if they make another one, if Double Fine makes any more, I will buy the collector's edition. I am such a huge fan of this game, and it's blown me away. I'm actually in shock. It's right up there. I say it's my game of the year right now, and then it's Ratchet and Clank. Ratchet and Clank was my number one. I say Psychonauts 2 is number one now. And it's the story. I love old-fashioned platformers that we played from the 90s and the late 80s. And this is a semi-open world because you can explore, but it's still a platformer. The art direction looks like a 90s cartoon from way back in the day, like a Bobby's World. Like it's like a chef's kiss to a 35-year-old plus. It literally is. And I'm not going to give away anything because there's some great story beats in it and there's some characters that you get to meet up with, but it explores the human psychosis, and it does some things that touches on that you like, wow, they didn't hold back. They there's a character that's a panic attack that you have to continue to fight over and over again. Your character that you're inside the mind continues to have a panic attack and you have to calm them down. They talk about some things that you know, a lot of times people are afraid to talk about depression. When you go in a mind that's depressed, all of a sudden the color palettes will be a little bit darker. And then when you're in certain other parts of the mind, it's bright. The colors on it are crazy. So there's some levels that are unreal. And the character Rasputin, he's quirky, and he doesn't believe in himself, and then he starts gaining confidence. And as he goes through the dialogue he's having with the characters, he's more and more confident as he goes through. It's a journey, and it's great. Like the reason why I'm saying I'm putting it over Ratchet and Clank. Ratchet and Clank was a beautiful game that put our consoles, next gen consoles, into the stratosphere, and it was like, this is a next gen game. But the story was okay, wasn't the best. Psychonauts 2 doesn't break boundaries on what your console can do. Even though it does have these things where you can go through these doors and you can almost do what you do in a Ratchet and Clank, and they don't even advertise it like Sony did. But the story itself is phenomenal. So if I could say to anybody who has, Game Pass or doesn't, I wouldn't hold back, and I would buy this game, because I'm still not even finished it. I'm 14 hours in, and I've still got, it's a beefy game. It's fun. And how about this? You can turn it on ultimate baby mode. You can turn off fall damage. You can turn off, you can make the enemies barely do anything. It doesn't affect trophies or achievements. And you can literally put, I just want to play story. And as Double Fine put out on their Twitter, finishing it on baby mode is still finishing it. So you can put it on extremely hard mode, or you can put it on baby mode. It's there for everybody.
Do you need to play Psychonauts 1 to appreciate the sequel?
No.
Does it tie into the first game at all, as far as you know, in case you haven't played it?
So I had played the first one, and for someone like yourself, don't, because there is 0 achievements. So it's just playing a game.
I've had it for years on Steam, but I didn't have a computer that could run anything.
There's no achievements, but they give a 5-minute update at the very beginning of Psychonauts 2, and they run you through the whole story, and you don't need to know anymore. It's just so good. Wow, I'm still in shock. Like, it's the first game in a long time since Ghost of Tsushima. It reminds me that I want to go back and continue to play. Like, I've only started the Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut because I continue to play Psychonauts 2, because I can't get away from it, because I want to finish it. But I did find a little error in Quick Resume. So, and this is an experience that I've had, and I've confirmed with others that some other people have had it on different games and in this game. If you're playing Psychonauts 2 and you go into Quick Resume, and then you turn on your console and you start playing, if you notice your achievements aren't popping, it's because they're not going to. You literally have to turn off the game, get out of Quick Resume, turn it back on. The achievements won't retroactively pop. I have to finish the game, and then I have to go back and level select, and I have to finish those levels again to pop those achievements. It's very frustrating. I also found out it does it with Hades. It does it with a friend of the show. He said it did it with UFC. I've gone over. It's funny. I can't find anything on Twitter, but if you go on Reddit, there's many people that complain about it, but it's like nobody's talking about it. But it seems to be a reoccurring problem with Quick Resume, which is a fantastic feature, but for people that like achievements and such, huge bummer.
Pez, what is your experience with Psychonauts? Did you play the first one? Are you excited to get into the sequel?
Did not play the first one. Spent about an hour or two with the second one. Downloaded it via the PC Games Pass app. Runs great. Looks great. Not a game I would say to play on mouse and keyboard. And I figured that out once the combat got a little, in the beginning, like they're introducing some new enemies and the combat gets a little crazy. And I was just like, I can't figure out the keys for this. I need to just play it on a controller, and I haven't had time to do that. So it's a game I'm very much looking forward to playing. It is on my list of games to sit down and play. It's actually on my No Salt Sunday schedule for when I stream on Sundays, so we call No Salt Sundays our single player games, right? No Splitgate, no nothing we're gonna get crazy with. nothing we're gonna get mad at. So it's on my list to play for No Salt Sunday. So
I
I'm
have
very
to say,
excited.
Pez, you will thoroughly enjoy. You of all
I'm really
people,
excited.
there's some level design that you're going to be like, wow, this is a Pez. There is literally a level that's like a trippy concert. It's a Pez level, like beyond Pez level.
I'm really excited. Like I love games that delve into like the human psyche, and this coupled with good platforming, right, which is just chef's kiss of video games. I'm really excited to play it. Really excited, and it's on my
Also,
list, and I'm super just like ready to go.
and also, Pez, when you do your first rail slide, please message me right after the sound that you hear, because it's going to be like a little warm hug.
Okay, I will. I will. And
It's well done.
the reason I haven't played it yet is it's a game I want to sit down for like 2 or 3 hours to get into. It's not a game I want to just like pop 45 minutes before, like his normally. So for those that don't know, what I like to do is pop into like our Discord at like 6:30, 6:45, get the show ready on the technical side, and then I just play something for like 45 minutes. Usually it's Splitgate or Hades, like something I can get in, get out, and have a good time with. I don't want to do that with Psychonauts. I want to jump in and I want to take my time and want to really sit there for, again, 2, 3, 4 hours and just absorb in and enjoy. What about you, Wabo?
It's Psychonauts. So I'll tell you something. Court, you've sold me on this. It sounds great, and a lot of the positive feedback. I'll play it at some point just because I've heard so much good stuff about it.
And I gave you 3 months free, so you might as well.
Oh, that's right. It's free. Oh, I can afford that. So speaking of afford, I had that game a while ago. I bought it from Craigslist when I was buying and flipping a lot of games on Xbox, and I'm pretty sure I sold it for not what it's worth now, which is $160, and I actually almost passed out. Just checking it on right now. If you're on the watching the YouTube, make sure to subscribe so we can get the Venn link. You can probably see the point at which I realized that I lost out on $100 at least. So, yeah. So that's my only gripe against Psychonauts is that it went up in value significantly in the past 15 years.
Well, yeah, Double Fine is they were a studio that wasn't doing well, and
is that Tim Schafer's studio?
And Microsoft swooped in and was like, "Hey, we'll write you a big fat check. Just make me a big fat awesome video game." And like I said before, I would never when I think when they did the announcements of the 2 consoles, I messaged Pez at the time. I'm like, "You got to be kidding me! What Microsoft is showing off is Psychonauts 2. Like, are you kidding me? They're showing off Halo with the dog guy and Psychonauts 2. And then I play Psychonauts 2 and I'm like, wow. And
Now you know why.
And this sounds weird. It's the power of Game Pass. I never would have played this game, and now it's my game of the year.
So another game that will probably be many people's game of the year is a remaster,
I think it's called
Dead Space.
Oh.
So the reaction has been insane. I've never played it, but I've seen people play it, and from what it was to what it is, it reminds me of like the Final Fantasy treatment, the Final Fantasy VII, where it's like totally, or like Diablo 2. What are your guys' thoughts? Have you played it before, and what do you think of the new remake? Pez, let's start with you.
Oh, okay. Oh man. Okay. Dead Space 1 and Dead Space 2 are some of the best horror games you can play. The first Dead Space, you are this guy, I believe his name is Isaac. I haven't played it in so long.
You are correct. Hold on. You're correct. Isaac Clarke.
Isaac Clarke, thank you. And he is he's basically, his ship is basically taken over by these aliens, these bloodthirsty aliens, and your job is to escape, and the way you have to do that is by picking up all these crazy weapons, and you dismember these aliens, right? It is gory, it is scary, because these guys, they don't look like xenomorphs, they don't look like your little Marvin the Martians. They look like hellspawns.
They look like necromorphs.
And they are terrifying, right? And EA did a great job with Dead Space 1 and Dead Space 2. Dead Space 1 and Dead Space 2 are single player experiences, and they're only single player experiences. If you're on YouTube right now, you can see Waba's face. I think he's looking them up.
Dude, these things are mad terrifying.
No, I think you
What
can
the
play them, Waba. I think you can play them. There's a couple jump scares, but not really. It's not.
Dude, this
I
boy
wouldn't
is
call this a horror game.
split open and he's got like 3 legs.
But you get this buzzsaw gun that you can like slice their arms off. It's so awesome.
Dude, this is horrifying.
No.
So
I can't. I don't know.
You
We'll
have
see.
to.
But man,
You have
this
to.
it's exactly as you described. They're not just normal aliens.
They're not these like, again, they're not xenomorphs and they're not Marvin the Martian and they're not like the little Area 51 aliens. They are hell spawns, right? There's something if this popped up in Doom, you would not be surprised. Like they're disgusting. And the first 2 games are masterpieces of single player experiences. Dead Space 3, EA ruined it, I would say.
Mhm. Yep.
They loaded it up with microtransactions, and then they loaded it up as a co-op experience, which doesn't make horror games scary, right? Because it's like me and my buddy, shooting the poop and making fun of stuff, and that's not what it's supposed to be like. Like if I played Alien Isolation with a friend, it would not be scary.
Well, that's why I played
can I-
Resident Evil 5. It was co-op. It was easy. You never felt like you were alone.
Can I ask you why you're shooting poop?
Because I can't swear on the podcast.
Okay.
Shooting the poop.
Shooting the poop. So I played 1 and 2. I loved 1 and 2. I loved them. They are not my favorite horror games because Alien Isolation will always be my favorite scary horror game, but they're up there. And they're games that I would love to play again. And then I think my favorite thing about this coming out is it is only coming out on PS5, Series X, maybe Series S. I'm not 100% sure, and PC because they want to make it a legit next gen experience.
Correct.
And I love that. I love it because they are like, nope, this game is gonna run great. It's gonna look great. Like dismemberment's probably gonna be insane now, and they're gonna put the power of next generation consoles in, and they just basically tell the last gen consoles to like, hey, you had your time in the sun, off to the nursing home, behind the shed, get the shotgun, goodbye, and then it's time for the big boys to step up. So I'm really excited. And I hope, from what I've seen, it looks like they're going to do the series justice with this remake. It's not going to be Dead Space 3. It's not going to be Dead Space, 4 to the streets. It's going to be, it's Dead Space. Like Dead Space is back. It's going to be that scary game that everybody wanted. Fired up. Court?
So I 100% agree with Pez, and I did some more research on it. So it's pretty much a ground up remake. That's why they're calling it the remake instead of the remastered. They are fixing some things like the 0G jump. It won't be as awkward and clunky. And then they said that the guns, like the plasma cutter and such, each gun is going to affect the enemies in a different way. So they're going to have their advantages. Because when you played the first one, the first time, they pretty much did the same thing. Whether you had the plasma cutter or you had the little buzzsaw thingy, or they pretty much just cut limbs off. But geez, those screenshots, I know they're early development screenshots, but wow, that game looks so good. That's like, this game would turn to people and be like, so you don't have a 4K TV, you need one now, because you got to play this game. Like, this game looks like the one that I would have a problem playing in the dark, because it looks real from what I'm seeing from these images. It's just, it's something that I thoroughly enjoyed. I love Dead Space 1. I love Dead Space 2. In fact, Dead Space 1 was the first one that I played on my PC. When I first got it, I was like, I did a run through on the Xbox on Dead Space 1, and it just looks so good. And it's also a very good story. Like, I'm a huge story-driven narrative game player, and the story in this game is phenomenal, even though it's just, think it's supposed to be jump scares. There's not that many jump scares. To be totally honest, Waba, I think this is the one horror game that you can play.
I mean, because it's EA, most likely I will play it just because
they
play
own
a lot
you.
of them. I wish. Honestly, I do wish. Please contact me. But no, I mean, I know it's a good game. Like, that's the thing. I just never got into it. And when did it originally come out? Was this an Xbox PS3 game, like 360 PS3 game?
Yeah, Xbox 360.
So it's 360 and PlayStation PS3. Okay.
Yeah.
So I didn't have, like, I'm gonna sound like a snooty guy, but like I didn't have a refined taste in games then. So like I probably pass this one over. And
Makes
then
sense.
when the second one came out, you can't just jump into it unless it's Mass Effect. But yeah, I think, God, I'm gonna get so scared. But I think this is one I'll have to revisit. I mean, both of you talking about it has got me a little excited about it. That it's horror elements, but not necessarily a horror game. And I
Yeah,
think that's what would make it accessible for people like me.
and also, as I said, it's a remake because it's on a different engine. So they're going to use the Frostbite engine on this. So the original Dead Space series started in. So they haven't made a game since Dead Space series. They haven't made the last.
2013.
Yeah, last one was 2013, and that was really bad. And the first one was 2008.
That's
So
wild.
I was 29 years old, and I played the living daylights out of this
It
game.
was great. Great game.
I
game.
finished. You know what? Just because of this, I play only old games on my Series S. So I play. What I do is my Series S is upstairs beside in my office where we record right now, and I play 360 games and last gen games. That's all I play on it. I'm going to download Dead Space, and I was playing through all the Batman Arkham games, and Dead Space is next. I'm going to play the first two games because they're in there.
And when does this come out? It's soonish, right?
No. 2022? 2022, yeah.
If that. If it
Yeah.
doesn't get delayed. Like early as 2022.
And they said in all caps, there are no microtransactions.
Yep.
So there
Yeah,
we
I
go.
think EA is going away from that.
Except
maybe
in their
in this.
sports games.
Well, no, sorry. I think EA is going away from that, especially in the UK where they're not allowed. But
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
Yep.
especially like for something like this that's going to sell worldwide. Yeah, that actually makes sense.
well,
So
it was Pez alluded to when they tried it in number 3. We all got real mad.
Yep. Oh, they ruined Dead Space 3. Ruined that. Dead Space 3 killed the franchise. It was that bad. That poorly received. Nobody wanted to play it because it was a dude bro game at that point. You know, I don't play this game as like the sole survivor, we'll call Isaac, to escape a ship and, you know, learn all this stuff. And then all of a sudden in the third game, they're like, oh my God, you found someone. He's your best friend. I'm like, I don't want to do that.
What was Luigi's name?
I don't remember. I never played it.
You don't even remember?
I don't know. I didn't
Tell
play
you,
it.
hold on. Puts Clark against the Necromorphs once again. The resource integration gear, the rig suit. Pez, I can't wait to play again and hear the noise it makes.
Here's the thing. In
I got
2013, when Dead Space 3 came out, if I wanted to play a dude bro game, I would have played Gears of War on the Xbox. I'm not going to play Dead Space 3.
Sergeant John Carver. Basically the vanilla flavor of
and as someone
names.
who's liking his Xbox, I still don't get Gears of War. I've played Gears of War 5 and I'm like, meh.
We should save your Gears of War anti Gears of War rant.
It's not
think you'll be able to.
It's just I don't know. It's a cover shooter and your guy moves too slow, and it feels like my guy is like 100 pounds. It's going boom, 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 and somehow I can saw through everybody every 2 seconds. Like whatever, man. You should be getting he should be getting destroyed. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, I'm looking forward to Dead Space a little more now. I might be, I'll try not to baby out, but
look at Waba. We got him. He wants to play Dead Space.
Listen,
he wants to play Psychonauts 2.
I want to play the bunny cult.
Listen. Well, you know Wob is converted when he'll play Phasmophobia with me. Like I even asked him during his stream in his chat when he was going to play with me, and he just completely bypassed it.
Yep, that's what I do. Evade. you don't want to answer a question. Pretend you didn't see it. Sorry.
I can tell. Yeah, I can always do it. If I put something in there, sometimes I can see Waba go, and then he doesn't answer because he's like, "How dare you put that in the chat?"
It's because I don't. Not that I care, but it's one of those things. I'm like, yeah, okay, well, can't talk about that.
I'll get Waba to play Phasma one of these days.
Honestly,
that game's terrifying. It's gonna be amazing.
How about this? Oh, I'm gonna say something that I might regret. If we ever choose to do a charity stream for 3 Dads and a Console,
done.
And when I say if we, I mean we've been talking about this. That is a game I would do because normally I would do it for money, but if we can do it for charity, that's a better cause.
Hey, so question for you then. You're because we're wrapping up here.
Yep.
You're deathly afraid of horror. Are you gonna go see the Batman?
Of course. Of course, I'm gonna go see the Batman.
Have you heard? Like the reviews are people are like, this is the goriest horror Batman. It's like dark.
I love horror movies because I'm not, and I saw it too by myself. I brought my own peanut or whatever. I brought my own almonds.
I'd let my 4-year-old watch that. That's nothing.
Oh, okay. So apparently your 4-year-old is braver than me, which I think we already knew.
All right. Well.
But yeah, and this was the new one, not the Tim Curry one. Right?
Tim Curry one's scary. The new one's not.
I haven't seen that one. Okay, but I think movies are easier because movies are easier because you're not in control. But with the game, you have to they force you something's behind that corner and you gotta move. And it's just the anticipation that it's like, oh crap, I know something's coming. And yes, you know that in a movie, but at the end of the day, there's a distance. But maybe that's because I, haven't been to the theater and it's maybe different than now.
Now, what about regarding the Batman? I just finished reading The Long October, The Long Halloween. Sorry,
Long Halloween. Yep.
Oh, just read it, and then you get to watch this movie. They say it has a lot to do with that.
Good. That comic is awesome.
What I hope they do is that it's not a 1-for-1. I hope it takes a lot of elements and it's inspired by. Because that I think is going to be great, and I think they've done that a lot with their other Batman movies.
That's what they said the horror comes from, because if you think about it, in The Long Halloween, there's some wow parts.
Yep, I'm excited. Oh my gosh, when that movie comes out, I can't wait. We're gonna have to do a whole half hour on that.
Oh no, dude! There's another movie coming out that me and Pez have to do a full review on, and that is Ghostbusters.
Yes.
Actually, you know what we should do right before that movie comes out? As a team, we should on Discord. We can watch. I have them. We can watch 1, 2. We can watch 1 and 2.
Done.
Oof.
And 2016?
No.
Isn't that the one with Thor?
No, I don't care.
Yes.
I'd rather watch the cartoons.
Oh, 100%.
I'd rather play the game.
Oh, also 100%. Ghostbusters the video game rules.
Well, technically, Ghostbusters the video game is Ghostbusters 2 that Bill Murray wanted to do.
Yeah.
I love when you dressed up as a Ghostbuster for your Phasmophobia stream. You had the goggles and you just looked all decked out like you were born to do this.
Sure did. Scarepez 2 was a huge success. And actually, Scarepez 3 might be, well, it won't be, but it will probably have a Scarepez event with Dead Space.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, Scarepez 3 Electric Boogaloo. Can't wait.
Ooh, you got that right.
Dirk Diggler.
Well, that has been another episode of
finally did it. I finally got Pez.
Of 3 dads and a console, and you would have known that if you were watching on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe. Please join again our YouTube. Check it out. Subscribe. We need 100 subs to get that vanity link. Also, if you're listening to this on a podcast, thank you. If it's your first time, please subscribe on your podcast platform of choice and rate us. Rate us 5 stars. Don't rate us 1 because you're like, oh, well, you told me to rate them. They didn't say what to rate them. 5 stars, please. You know you like us. We will see you in the next episode. Thank you, everyone.